And we're live.
Hey, we're actually live this time. I'm Sapphy.
I'm Mystic.
And this is the Lore Together live stream where we're going to go over Mass Effect, the first one. We'll see how far we get.
Yep. But first thing, we gotta level up our Lorena Shepherd.
Level up Lorena.
Which is just gonna be dumping it all into Charm.
You guys have, if you haven't played this, the social stuff, especially in the first one, is so necessary. Those aren't skills in the second and the third game, I'm assuming.
I don't believe so.
Yeah. But instead they lean more on the Paragon Renegade aspect.
Yeah.
Like alignment and third ed D&D. I tell ya. Ooh, I just smacked myself with the mic. I'm sorry. So
why do we have? Oh, because we're the only person in the squad. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So the patrons.
The patrons have decided where we're going.
Yes, it is Artemis Tau, right?
Yep.
So we're going, and I can understand why they decided to go there.
Yeah. And if you'd like to help us decide what's going on later in this game, you can do that by going to patreon.com/loretogether.
Yes. Generality, Paragon Renegade is just another word for good evil, but I guess they tried. They did.
How do I...
It's nice to determine.
I don't remember how to zoom out beyond that. Hang on.
Paragon Renegade isn't necessarily good evil.
There we go.
But I think it's more the difference between
there we go.
Selfish versus more altruistic.
Oh, I totally forgot. Asteroid X-57 we'll have to do at some point too.
Yes.
But for now, we're going to Liara's dig site.
Yes.
And I don't remember which one it's at, so... let's see, can I remember?
I thought it was Knossos?
I think it is Knossos, yeah.
I'm happy to be wrong and have you guys laugh at me, but... In other news, we are now a household adopting the new water that's out there, Liquid Death. Has anybody else tried it? I don't know where it's out.
It's just water. It's just water.
Well, it's
Therum,
not,
that's what it is.
It's not just water anymore.
Yep, we remembered correctly.
Yay!
So, in order to do this, because there's other planets you could have landed on, but in order to do this, you have to realize or remember that Anderson says go to the Prothean ruins, which aren't in the image, but it's this line of text right here. There, I'll just read this. Therum,
you gotta read it though in that,
I can't do it, so don't even bother.
Oh.
Therum is a distant but rich industrial world claimed by the Human Systems Alliance. Its plentiful heavy metals have fueled the recent manufacturing boom on Earth. Core samples rich with the fossils of simple silicon-based organisms indicate Therum was more habitable in the past than it is at present. Perhaps this explains the many Prothean ruins dotting the surface, most of which have been looted by mining corporations.
Generality goes, there's a new water? Sounds like a scam. No, it's just, it's instead of bottling it in plastic bottles, it's now in a can.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
not a
big
unique
draw.
idea. But
They also have sparkling water and iced teas as well, if you'd like. Everett, good evening. Good to see you as always.
Good evening, Everett. Good evening, Generality. Sorry.
Yeah.
We're very tech heavy if I do that, though.
I know, but usually I was more biotic back in the day. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, at least we're balanced.
Oh, and patrons have to decide who we're going to romance.
See, okay, so here's the hard thing. That's going to be on a game-by-game basis.
Yes.
But if people know their Mass Effect, you can kind of cage that, especially between a few of the characters, to not have someone in Mass Effect 1 at all.
Readings? Really strange, like off the damn charts.
You know?
Yeah.
It looks like it's coming from an underground complex a few clicks away from the drop zone.
I wonder what clicks means.
Generally
is that
goes,
just...
well, metal is more recyclable but it's still a problem. You can genuinely make cans again out of metal cans. That is a lot better than what you can do with plastic water bottles.
Yeah, I think I read it was like 70% of a can usually is other cans.
Yeah.
But only 3% of a bottle is other bottles.
Yeah, exactly. Generality goes kill because military slang for kilometer. Oh, that's good to know.
Okay.
I used to hear a lot of the military alphabet in an old job. And now I don't remember any of it. Well, I do. Well, everybody knows Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. I feel like. So, I think I'm one of the few people who actually in the original games flipped the Nomad to the point. What is this? The Nomad?
No, this is the Mako.
Mako. I flipped the Mako.
Yeah, Nomad is Andromeda.
Okay, sorry, that's the most recent game. Generally goes. I first learned that from the Doom novelization. Oh, that makes sense. So, yes, I flipped the Mako to the point where you couldn't flip it back up. Because I'm just that bad at driving in video games. Oh! Yeah.
So the crazy thing about these things is the sense of scale is just so weird.
Yeah.
Because these things look so tiny, and yet
We
they
just
are.
had a network failure here.
It's probably just a
Yeah.
slight downstream problem.
There we go. Downstream problem resolved. Generally goes, this vehicle makes wide turns. Sorry if there was a little bit of a hiccup there. We had a weird connection issue.
Someday we may have to upgrade our laptop that we use for the viewing of the streams.
Yes, we do. Yeah, so what we see on our end,
Our
laptop doesn't always match reality.
right,
And-
our laptop that we're running that Sapphy is looking at right now is a really old laptop that one of my friends put Linux on so we could keep using it.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Only a fool punches a knapsack in the mouth.
At this point, I wouldn't say it's worth getting a new laptop to do it, but I wonder if we have a better option already in-house.
Possibly.
And we might want to just start considering recycling this one. And I think I have an OG Chromebook I think I have to consider recycling too. Don't forget, you don't put them in the dump, you recycle them. So, anyway. Everett goes, why can't you land your at your destination?
Partially because we don't know where it is.
Partially because it's cooler to fight your way through.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is a result of games have to still be games.
Gamify everything.
How do I get out of the stupid thing? How do you get out of the damn Mako? There we go. Wait, really? No.
Just have Rex just walk right on up on you. Why not?
Cover me.
Still know how I got out of it, but whatever.
I remember when I had to do that for the live stream like a while ago, and I was like, oh gosh, how do these controls work again? Because it's just not as intuitive as it was in 2 and 3. So.
Now it gets fun.
This has Star Trek 10 vibes. Land far away to show off a fun wheeled vehicle. So that was Nemesis, right? Because if that's the one I think it
Oh yeah,
is-
the Argos. Yeah, that was Nemesis.
Yeah. Patrick Stewart literally wanted to do action stuff, and so they wrote in action stuff.
Look, he didn't get enough action with First Contact. Like,
Sir Patrick Stewart just, I think he knew it was like, this is my one and only chance to do something really, really cool. Because I did not look cool enough in Dune. So I had to do it here.
He did not look that cool in Dune.
No.
Sorry to
he
say.
did not.
What? Oh!
Oh, did we forget? I think the trick is to get in the Mako. I'm totally doing the music that's probably not on right now. Bam! Yes, Mako for the win. We're early enough in the game that we've got to get all the supplies.
I do it even later in the game.
Well, that's just the way you and I play too. We just like to get all the things.
Yeah.
Not in the same way. Like, I'm not 100% completionist.
Now, the fun thing is, there is a way. I've seen speedrunners do it where you can just get over this thing. Like, there would have been at the end of the game by now. Like, the end of the level by now. But
Everett goes, I know you don't like them much, but Red Letter Media has a great analysis of that driving scene. They're not completely off base with everything, but there was a weird phase when Star Trek Discovery came out, and there was a bunch of people who were acting like their opinion about liking the show
was the end all be all.
was the end all be all, and not just an opinion. You know, like, there's a lot of people I like to follow on YouTube who share their opinions, but the ones I tend to stick with are the ones who are willing to say, yeah, I'm just talking about a TV show or a video game, and they understand it's their opinion, not everybody's going to agree, and they don't mind. So, like, holy guacamole.
We got some armor. We'll have to try that on soon.
So anyway, Red Letter Media, for us, fit, at least we both feel like, and Mystic, feel free to correct me if I'm misspeaking for you, but we both feel like that they just honestly felt like their opinion on that whole series not only was disparaging, which of course we disagreed with, but also was way too self-important to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that, and we do this a lot with our video game analysis, that there's media out there that's just not meant for you. And I did have friends who didn't like the direction Star Trek Discovery was in because they had too big of a nostalgia connection to Next Generation or even the original series and stuff like that. And I said, okay, then it's not for you. And they said, yeah, okay, it's not for me. And they moved on. And they're probably loving Strange New Worlds because it's kind of more in that same vein. But all right, I'm going to get off my Star Trek soapbox. Like, Mystic looks so uninterested right now. So... Everett goes, I confess that partially because of Red Letter Media, I haven't paid much attention to post-2005 Star Trek. I'll say this, as Mystic is updating our editor with something.
Yeah, we had a little editing snafu.
Oh my gosh,
him.
we literally had the copy yesterday, and I usually will review it in the morning before I get to work, and I was reviewing the copy, and I was like, this is not how we edit our show.
It was a software glitch or something on our editor's part. So
patrons, you should be getting that tomorrow, one way or another. We'll figure it out. But Everett, back to your point, give some of it a chance, because I think it might not all be for you. Like, you might not like Discovery, But you'd probably like Strange New Worlds. You'd probably like Lower Decks. The rest of it, kind of, you gotta be willing to do something that's new and different from the Star Trek universe. Like Picard is just kind of, like, it's nostalgia-y, but it's also out there, and it's trying to do things with the character you might not be, like, cool with. Discovery is very much trying to tell a very different story than they ever had before. So if you want more of, like, that, more of the feel of what a lot of us grew up with Star Trek from, like, the 90s to the early aughts, I would say...
Lower Decks, Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, that's where you want to go.
Lower Decks is comedy, though. It's...
Oh, yeah. But it's made with so much love. Like, so much love.
How did you even fire that bolt before I even turned the corner?
They don't have windows. They don't need windows to see where you are. Oh, yeah, that was always my favorite thing. Boom. Roll them over.
No. We don't want to go in the lava.
No lava, please, and thank you. Don't want to hear the Saren theme from Dying for the umpteenth time. I dreaded that music when I first started playing this game.
Oh, yeah.
And I should say when I first started playing on my own, because we played it together early in our relationship, and we played it easy enough that, like, you weren't really dying. We were doing it for the story. Playing it on my own, I was like, why can't I hit the things? I'm trying so hard. Ever goes, the big draw to Star Trek for me is its exploration of difficult philosophical questions. Strange New Worlds. First season, at least. I can't vouch for the second season yet. First season does it. Technically, Star Trek Discovery is doing that too, but they do it as a season-long plot arc. If you prefer more of the, like, episode by episode analysis of something new and different each time, then the Strange New Worlds for sure.
I can't do Discovery. I ended up not liking it.
It's not for everybody. It gets a little space opera-y, and I think that's the part you don't like about it, is it?
And yet I'm playing a space opera.
I think you always knew Mass Effect was a space opera.
That's true.
Star Trek wasn't always a space opera. Though it's been described like that before. But I know we're usually talking about Firmament here, so we've now switched it to Star Trek, where I could join the conversation a bit more.
Yeah, I've not been able to play Firmament since the last stream. I intend on picking it up at some point this weekend and hopefully finishing it.
Mystic tried so hard to finish that in one go. Honestly.
I ended up getting motion sick, which is rare for me in a game.
I just want to give you credit that you honestly did not forget about it. You prioritized it. You made the time for it, and you still weren't able to finish it. So.
Yeah. It doesn't help that I'm stupid.
I realized I gotta look back at where I ended for the Dragon Age Let's Play, because I think there's a decision I want patrons to vote on before I do the next playthrough. So I'll try to get on that for you guys and make time for that. So we can get back to All Roads Lead to Dad. I'm also trying to figure out, a few episodes, because Mystics have been covering them for so long, so I'm trying to figure out some episodes where I can give them some relief. So I'm working on that too. So.
Are you dead? Good.
Are you? Do you like they're gonna answer? Are you dead?
And
Yes,
here's more
good and dead.
gamification. I could literally go over this if Can I?
Oh no, don't do it. You're gonna fall in the lava. You're not worth it. No, it's not worth dying.
On my way.
Somehow we get this thing back later.
Yeah, I understand that they do stuff, but they have to. That's the whole point.
And there's one thing you guys will
Kind
get
of like in a romance novel, they're gonna have a hard time finally realizing they love each other. That's just how it is.
You're gonna realize something really quick if you've never played this franchise before. Any place you see just chest-high walls scattered around, that's combat.
Yeah, that's fair. Everett goes, I prefer season-long continuity, but my favorite episodes are half the life, who watches the watchers, the quality of life, etc. Well, that's a good one. Jay goes, it is possible in classic, albeit hard. There's invisible walls the whole way up in the rock wall, but it makes this fight hilariously one-sided with the Mako. Okay, well that's good to know if we ever try to attempt that in the future. And yeah, Everett, I think you would like at least season 1 of Strange New Worlds. We have to watch season 2. We're behind. That's all. That's all I'll say. I
want to finish Firmament before I start a blind playthrough of Starfield. So that's kind of the goal, is to finish Firmament before Starfield comes out.
Did you already pre-order it?
No.
Okay. I'm just keeping that in the back of my head.
Wow, I missed completely. Anybody else? You know what I'm very glad about? I don't have to loot characters.
Nope.
I've been playing Guild Wars 2 with the new expansion. And very sick of having to loot people. Oh, that's because there is a mastery to not have to do that, and I just haven't taken it yet. Oh, come on.
This feels like one of those carnival games, the way he's sliding back and forth.
There we go.
Everett goes, this combat looks pretty good. Now, you have to remember this came out also in 2008?
They've updated it a little bit with the new release, but not a lot.
This is still, like, I think they knew better than to totally revamp the combat in the first game. It would have taken forever for this to come out, for one. And
now one of the most annoying fights in the game.
Oh, I forgot. This is really annoying. I hate this one.
It's not that it's hard. It's hard for your level at this point.
Everett asks, how vulnerable are your comrades? They're pretty... They'll take cover on their own, but they're not... The AI is not the best in the OG game. I'm sure in Legendary it's...
Do not forget, we are also playing on the easiest version.
Yeah.
Or easiest difficulty, I should say.
Bullets are here only for tension. Oh, you're seeing the biotics waviness because Rex is right next to us. Does anybody have landmines? No? Okay. In the past, I've felt it a lot. Those climby dudes? I hate them. So, like, at this difficulty, you might have, at some of the more difficult fights, have one comrade fall, but you'll be able to get to him, revive him, and then move on. At normal difficulty, at least for me, it can start to get a little annoying, and you have to be a bit more tactical. They do have a decent system for telling people where to go and what to focus on, so you can all do that within one interface. And it got a little easier in Mass Effect 2 and 3. Mass Effect 2 and 3 also have the boss ability of Vanguard, where you basically just go through and, like, ram into people and then shotgun them to death. It's amazing. Is a comrade's death a fail state?
No.
Your death
yours
fail,
is
a fail state.
So I'm gonna wait here for a second
Yeah.
because my health is very low.
Do we have Metagel?
I don't remember how to use it. Oh, we do have grenades,
it's
though.
A quick, I thought
Oh, there we go. Nice.
Nice. Yeah, forget that, dude. Yeah! Level up.
Did I? Oh.
I heard the music in my head. I didn't even hear it in the headphones, so. Jay, companions can't die. They just go unconscious and pop back up when the battle is over. Yep. Classic.
But we can die.
But we can die.
Gotta get him sniper rifles.
I will amend JA's comment slightly. Comrades cannot die in classic battle. Comrades can die due to player choices. There are some times that may happen
Yes.
in Mass Effect 1. And we'll have some of those options as to what to do to a vote. I think there's one of them that we will not put up to a vote this game.
Okay.
Yeah. Mystic's not remembering, and I'm not going to tell him because I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
No, I have a vague idea. Because there's one that you can vote for, and there's one that it's only if you kind of screw up about.
Yeah. Yeah. Generality goes so like Banner Saga. I'm assuming so.
Never played it. I guess that we're adding that to the list.
Jay goes, only the commander can die, proving that Shepard is the only non-synth. Wait, wrong franchise. Are you trying to say you need me to color for another Fallout episode? Because that makes my choice easy for what I need to do. Everett goes, how much impact do all those previous dialogue trees impact the game at this point? So, it impacts the individual game itself decently, I'd say.
I've never visited a Prothean ruin before.
I feel like it gets to the point by game 3 where you don't feel like those choices matter as much as they used to.
Yeah.
Especially near the infamous end. But there were hints of that before it if we had been looking. And
It's interesting. So I've not played a lot of Baldur's Gate yet, the new one anyway.
yeah.
But from what I've been reading online is that there's a lot more maneuverability within the plot line
Yes.
compared to most BioWare titles there. So
Yeah. Apparently there are so many ways to
Can I help?
to
Oh,
get to from Act 1 to Act 2 and Act 2 to Act 3.
I meant to press a different button there.
Jay goes, I'm not saying more Fallout, but there is a lot of Fallout lore out there, and there's a new TV show drumming up interest, and it would be nice. I'm already like late to the game with the
It's
Last of Us TV show that I've been meaning to do.
I want to say that the TV show is on Amazon Prime.
I also haven't done a review on the Dragon Age TV show. That's really should be just what I end up doing. I at least finished the Dragon Age animated series. Was good, by the way, guys. It's fun. It's very fun. And if they do not make the Canary Mage a companion in the next game, I'm gonna cry.
Assuming the next game ever comes out, given that BioWare is firing 50 people,
I have no idea what's gonna happen.
including 3, I think it's like 2 or 3 writers.
Yeah.
One of which has been there for all of Dragon Age, and the other one has been there since Baldur's Gate 1.
Yeah, something doesn't sound right there. If you're trying to make things more efficient and then you fire 50 people, what are you trying to say about your development cycle all of the decades before that? It's kind of a weird thing to say.
I mean, BioWare has always had a kind of a really bad development cycle.
Yeah.
Hello? Can somebody help me? Are you okay? What happened to
Jay
you?
goes, can you honestly imagine EA
This
not
thing I'm
using...
in is a Prothean security device. I cannot move, so I need you to get me out of it, all right?
Your mother is working with Saren. Whose side are you on?
What? I am not on anybody's side. I may be Benezia's daughter, but I'm nothing like her. I have not spoken to her in years. Please, just get me out of here.
How did you end up in there?
I was exploring the ruins when the Geth showed up, so I hid in here. Can you believe that? Geth beyond the veil! I activated the tower's defenses. I knew the barrier curtains would keep them out. When I turned it on, I must have hit something I wasn't supposed to. I was trapped in here. You must get me out, please!
You brought this on yourself. No.
What?
We'll find some way to help you.
There is a control in here that should deactivate this thing. You'll have to find some way past the barrier curtain. That's the tricky part. The defenses cannot be shut off from the outside. I don't know how you'll get in here. Be careful. There is a Krogan with the Geth. They have been trying different ways to get past the barrier.
Sorry.
I had the delay, so I didn't realize what was going on. So in the chat, Jay goes, can you honestly imagine EA not using dark necromancy to keep a shambling corpse making Dragon Age and Mass Effect games if BioWare somehow dies? They'll just call some other studio, BioWare East or South, and have them do it. And that's totally true.
Yeah.
So...
Also, just like last time when I was talking over somebody you don't want me talking over, this is why you have the screen here.
Sir, I doesn't mean I can automatically know when the sound is coming through.
I know. You gave
And I didn't know
you gave me for this exact thing.
You literally just made a choice when I started reading the thing. So,
I don't think I did, but okay.
you literally finished your dialogue choice as I started looking and reading this at the other screen.
Oh, hello. What? Oh, combat.
Did you forget?
I didn't realize it was a. I thought it was triggering when you got down here.
I also hate that it thinks you want to put cover behind the thing that has no actual cover. But Jay, I think you're right about that. They're gonna keep that going because they'll always be able to make money with it. It's just and the problem is that with AAA, that if the title has a good enough reputation, they're going to be able to make money for a couple of permutations before people stop trying to buy it. So, I think I remember for Dragon Age Inquisition, I didn't buy it right away because I wasn't sure. And the same thing with Mass Effect Andromeda, so...
I don't think you've bought Mass Effect Andromeda yet.
No, I didn't. If you told me that it needed a lot of work, so I was like, I'll wait. And then I just never felt the desire to buy it after that.
Well, you wanted to buy it eventually once they fixed stuff, but then they canceled all DLC, and I was like, no, don't bother.
Yeah. Exactly.
Is Andromeda a decent game? Yes. Unfortunately, they also dropped the ball on it massively in terms of extending the development. And
so I think once
we'll
again,
get there.
Back to the point of stop trying to make your art just a commodity. Like, just admit you're trying to publish a good story. Like, I don't know.
Okay.
Jay goes, stop trying to buy it, at which point they'll make a reboot, and if it fails, they'll give up. Mass Effect and Dragon Age are too big. EA specifically bought a holding company just for those two IPs.
No. Oh my god. Alright.
What?
There we go.
I didn't even remember what you're trying to do there.
Trying to hack into the laser that blows up the ground.
Freaking lasers, man. Well, we'll see what happens with Dragon Age Dreadwolf, and if it's garbage, I'm just gonna make my own Dragon Age tabletop RPG campaign, making a better ending. That's what I'm gonna do.
How did you get in here? I didn't think there was any way past the barrier.
We have to get you out of here before more Geth arrive.
Yes, you're right. I've seen enough of them to last a lifetime. That button should shut down my containment field.
Yes. The button.
Any idea how we get out of this place?
There is an elevator back in the center of the tower. At least I think it's an elevator. It should take us out of here. Come on! I still cannot believe all this. Why would the Geth come after me? Do you think Benezia's involved?
Saren's looking for the conduit. You're a Prothean expert. Obviously, he wants you to help him find it.
The conduit, but I don't know.
What the hell was that?
These ruins are not stable.
Is
That
camera
mining
shake
laser
turned
must have
off? I think
triggered
it
a
usually
seismic
shakes
event.
there.
Yeah, it's usually shaking a lot more.
We have to hurry. The whole place is caving in.
Joker, get the Normandy airborne and lock in on my signal. On the double, mister.
Aye, aye, Commander. Secure and away. ETA 8 minutes.
If I die in here, I'll kill him.
Is he on the other side of the planet? Like, we didn't drive that far.
Jay goes, it's depressing, but on the plus side, all the talent seems to be landing on their feet elsewhere in the industry, so we'll see something like Mass Effect elsewhere. There is the musical,
But it won't be Mass Effect.
game that I saw that has some voice actors I really like, so...
Oh, is that the one by David Gator?
Yes.
Yeah.
It has Laura Bailey and Ashley Johnson in there, so I'm partial to check that out.
Surrender. Or don't. That would be more fun.
In case you didn't notice, this place is falling apart.
Exhilarating, isn't it? Thanks for getting rid of those energy fields for us. Hand the doctor over.
Whatever it is you want, you are not getting it from me.
She'll stay with us, thanks.
Not an option. Saren wants her, and he always gets what he wants. Kill him. Spare the Asari if you can. If not, doesn't matter.
Then why?
Well, I'd feel pretty fatalistic too if I was coming from a race of people who dealt with the genophage. So, generality goes, failed IPs are what fanfic is for, which I completely agree. Jay goes, I wish it was for other companies to give a shot at, but they won't let people at abandoned properties 30 years old, so of course not.
I just want Skies of Arcadia.
Seriously. Generally goes, yeah, 8 minutes? Is he in upper orbit? I have no how. I don't know. Probably. They might have kept distance just because there was a live Geth ship just hanging out, being ominous. Yeah, the shape cam is definitely less than fast. You know what I'm glad this is not? Quick time event.
Oh God.
Ran out of there like a bat out of hell.
Too close, Commander. 10 more seconds, we would have been swimming in molten sulfur. The Normandy isn't equipped to land in exploding volcanoes. They tend to fry our sensors and melt our hull. Just for future reference.
We almost died out there, and your pilot is making jokes?
Joker pulled our asses out of there. I think he's earned the right to a few bad jokes.
I see. It must be a human thing. I don't have a lot of experience dealing with your species, Commander.
Sad thing is, it's
But
not
I
a
am
human
grateful to you. You saved my life back there, and not just from the volcano. Those Geth would have killed me or dragged me off to Saren.
What did Saren want with you? Do you know something about the conduit?
Only that it was somehow connected to the Prothean extinction. That is my real area of expertise. I have spent the past 50 years trying to figure out what happened to them.
Just how old are you exactly?
I hate to admit it, but I am only 106.
Damn! I hope I look that good when I'm your age.
A century may seem like a long time to a short-lived species like yours, but among the Asari, I am barely considered more than a child. That is why my research has not received the attention it deserves. Because of my youth, other Asari scholars tend to dismiss my theories on what happened to the Protheans.
I've got my own theory on why the Protheans disappeared.
With all due respect, Commander, I have heard every theory out there. The problem is finding evidence to support them. The Protheans left remarkably little behind. It is almost as if someone did not want the mystery solved. It is like someone came along after the Protheans were gone and cleansed the galaxy of clues. But here is the incredible part. According to my findings, the Protheans were not the first galactic civilization to mysteriously vanish. This cycle began long before them.
Where'd you come up with this theory? I thought there wasn't any evidence.
I have been working on this for 50 years. I have tracked down every scrap and shred of evidence. Eventually, subtle patterns start to emerge, patterns that hint at the truth. It is difficult to explain to someone else. I cannot point
That's
to
my
one
work
specific
computer,
thing to
guys.
prove my case. It is more a feeling derived from a half-century of dedicated research. But I know I'm right, and eventually I will be able to prove it. There were other civilizations before the Protheans. This cycle has repeated itself many times over.
If the Protheans weren't the first, then who was?
I don't know. There is barely any evidence on the Protheans, even less on those who came before them. I cannot prove my theory, but I know I am right. The galaxy is built on a cycle of extinction. Each time a great civilization rises up, it is suddenly and violently cast down. Only ruins survive. The Protheans rose up from a single world until their empire spanned the entire galaxy. Yet even they climbed to the top on the remains of those who came before. Their greatest achievements, the mass relays and the Citadel, are based on the technology of those who came before them. And then, like all the other forgotten civilizations throughout galactic history, the Protheans disappeared. I have dedicated my life to figuring out why.
They were wiped out by a race of sentient machines, the Reapers.
The Reapers? But I have never heard of. How do you know this? What evidence do you have?
There was a damaged Prothean beacon on Eden Prime. It burned a vision into my brain. I'm still trying to sort out what it all means.
Visions. Yes, that makes sense. The beacons were designed to transmit information directly into the mind of the user. Finding one that still works is extremely rare. No wonder the Geth attacked Eden Prime. The chance to acquire a working beacon, even a badly damaged one, is worth almost any risk. But the beacons were only programmed to interact with Prothean physiology. Whatever information you received would have been confused, unclear. I am amazed you were able to make sense of it at all. A lesser mind would have been utterly destroyed by the process. You must be remarkably strong-willed, Commander.
This isn't helping us find Saren, or the conduit.
Of course, you are right. I am sorry, my scientific curiosity got the better of me. Unfortunately, I do not have any information that could help you find the conduit, or Saren.
I don't know why Saren wanted you out of the picture, but I think we'll be a lot better off if we bring you along.
Thank you, Commander. Saren might come after me again. I cannot think of anywhere safer than here on your ship. And my knowledge of the Protheans might be useful later on.
And her biotics will come in handy when the fighting starts.
Good to have you on the team, Liara.
Thank you, Commander. I am very grateful. Oh, I am afraid I am feeling a bit lightheaded.
When was the last time you ate, or slept? Dr. Chakwa should take a look at you.
It is probably just mental exhaustion, coupled with the shock of discovering the Protheans' true fate. I need some time to process all this. Still, it could not hurt to be examined by a medical professional. It will give me the chance to think things over. Are we finished here, Commander?
We can talk again after you've seen the doctor. The rest of you, dismissed.
Mission reports are filed, Commander. You want me to patch you through to the Council?
Patch him through, Joker.
Setting up the link now, Commander.
We've received your report, Commander. I understand Dr. Tassoni is on the Normandy.
I assume you're taking the necessary security precautions.
Liara's on our side. The Geth were trying to kill her.
Benezia would never allow Saren to kill her daughter.
Maybe she doesn't know.
Or maybe we don't know her. We never expected she could become a traitor.
At least the mission was a success.
Apart from the utter destruction of a major Prothean ruin. Was that really necessary, Shepard?
I wish.
The Geth were crawling all over those ruins. We were lucky to make it out alive.
Of course, Commander. The mission must always take priority.
Good luck, Commander. Remember, we are all counting on you.
If you want, there is a whole disconnect.
Montage.
Montage. Jay goes, 10 more seconds and we would have been swimming in molten sulfur. But good thing there's time for you to lean over, railing wistfully, staring to show how much of an ordeal it was.
I think it's hyperbole on Joker's part, honestly, because you destabilized the ruin. You didn't blast into like a molten lava pocket.
Unless there's some scene we didn't see.
Yeah.
Generality goes, space elves. Yes, space elves that talk like stereotypical like anime plot device characters.
She is verbose.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like stereotypical like anime dubbed dialogue, in my opinion. Everett goes, I would prefer the game had avoided the stereotype of humanoid aliens. They tried with a couple of them. I mean, like,
we had the Elcor.
The Elcor, and we have the big stupid jellyfish.
The Hanar.
The Hanar, yes.
But it's really hard to do
animation
companions that are not humanoid because you have, all your weapons and all your combat is going to be based off of a couple skeletons at most. So
yeah, and then they also, and usually if you're going to do that, those kinds of companions, they typically like are limited in other ways. Like, for example, when I play Fallout New Vegas, I like to play with Eddie and the dog.
Okay.
You're not getting a lot of great dialogue. They're one's really up high, one's really low. It's also really cool though because like you're walking around the desert and you don't have to like fight anything. Like you're just good. J.A. goes, well, I'm thankful we got Hanar and Elcor, truly unique compared to rubber four-headed aliens. Jay goes, it also doesn't hurt that other races like Turians have some unique body language based on physiology. There was work put in, just no budget for unique animations, I guess. I think that's really what it comes down to. When you're writing a book, you can do whatever because the budget is how much ink you're putting to the paper, and sometimes not even literally if it's a digital book. When it comes to things that need to be visualized, there's a lot of effort to make sure that visualization looks good, and if you're not, and like, the funny thing is, this is technically animation, but you're not hand drawing each cell for each.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit up our alien companions to wrap up this episode because most of them we haven't talked to yet.
Yeah, we haven't had good conversations with any of them. Oh, don't forget Ashley and Caden. Give them a little bit of attention too.
I will, but we've talked to them before. We haven't talked
That's
to
true.
Garrus.
We did talk to both of them, yeah.
Commander, nice work out there. I knew working with the Spectre would be better than life at CSEC.
Have you worked with the Spectre before?
Well, no, but I know what they're like. Spectres make their own rules. You're free to handle things your way. At CSEC, you're buried by rules. The damn bureaucrats are always on your back.
For the most part, the rules are there for a reason.
Maybe. But sometimes it feels like the rules are only there to stop me from doing my work. If I'm trying to take down a suspect, it shouldn't matter how I do it, as long as I do it.
But CSEC wants it done their way. Protocol and procedure come first. That's why I left.
So you just quit because you didn't like the way they do things?
There's more to it than that. It didn't start out bad, but as I rose in ranks, I got saddled with more and more red tape. CSEC's handling of Saren was typical. I just couldn't take it anymore. I hate leaving.
I hope you made the right choice. I'd hate for you to regret it later.
Well, that's sort of why I teamed up with you. It's a chance for me to get off the Citadel, see how things are done outside C-Sec. Either way, I plan to make the most of this.
And without C-Sec headquarters looking over my shoulder, well, maybe I can get the job done my way for a change.
If getting the job done means endangering innocent people, then no. We get the job done right, not fast. Got it?
I wasn't trying to. I understand, Commander.
Everett goes, I think sci-fi tends to forget that a good 2/3 of aliens should be birds or fish. At least the Turians are kind of
Turians are
birds, yeah.
based.
They're like the in-between a bird and a dinosaur.
Yeah.
So, Jay goes, Shepard. Rex.
Yep.
Rex.
Shepard, what can I do for you?
What's your story, Rex?
There's no story. Go ask the Quarian if you want stories.
You Krogans live for centuries. Don't tell me you haven't had a few interesting adventures.
Well, there was this one time the Turians almost wiped out our entire race. That was fun.
I heard about that. You know, they almost did the same to us.
It's not the same.
It seems pretty much the same to me.
So your people were infected with a genetic mutation? An infection that makes only a few in 1,000 children survive birth? And I suppose it's destroying your entire species?
I suppose it isn't all the same.
I don't expect you to understand, but don't compare humanity's fate with the Krogan.
Sorry, Rex. I wasn't trying to get you upset.
Your ignorance doesn't upset me, Shepard. As for the Krogan, I gave up on them long ago. The genophage infected us, but it's not what's killing us.
What can you tell me about the genophage?
Ask the Solarians if you want details. They made it. All I know, it makes breeding nearly impossible. Thousands die in stillbirth, and most never get that far. Every Krogan is infected, every one. And no one's rushing to find a cure.
Why don't the Krogan try to find a cure?
When was the last time you saw a Krogan scientist? You ask a Krogan, would he rather find a cure for the genophage or fight for credits? He'll choose fighting every time. It's just who we are, Shepard. I can't change that. Nobody can.
Are your people really dying?
We're sure not getting any stronger. We're too spread out. None of us are interested in staying in our own system.
Lots of species have left their homes and prospered.
But they go to colonize new worlds. We're not settlers. We're warriors. We want to fight. So we leave. Hire ourselves out. And most of us never go back.
So long, Rex.
Shepard.
Everett goes, Star Trek Enterprise had its faults, but I was happy that it depicted space fish. I feel so about that. Everett goes, I still can't get over how this game got Rex past LucasArts.
Got what?
Rex past LucasArts. I don't think... If you don't really have a copyright on the name itself, though, do you?
Rex?
Yeah. We had this conversation last stream.
Maybe we did not remember.
Yeah.
Your ship's amazing, Shepard. I've never seen a drive core like this before. I can't believe you were able to fit it into a ship this small. I'm starting to understand why you humans have been so successful. I had no idea Alliance vessels were so advanced.
The Normandy's a prototype. Cutting-edge technology.
A month ago, I was patching a makeshift fuel line into a converted tug ship in the flotilla. Now, I'm sitting on board one of the most advanced vessels in Citadel space. I have to thank you again for bringing me along. Traveling on a vessel like this is a dream come true for me.
I had no idea you found ship technology so interesting.
It comes with being a Quarian. The migrant fleet is the key to the survival of my people. Ships are our most valuable resource. But we don't have anything like this. We make do with cast-offs and second-hand equipment. We just try to keep them running for as long as we can. Some of the fleet's larger vessels date all the way back to our original flight from the Geth.
I can't believe your fleet's still using ships that are 3 centuries old.
They're constantly being repaired, modified, and refitted. They aren't pretty, but they work. Mostly.
One of them is called the Ship of
We try to make
Theseus.
ourselves as independent as possible on the flotilla. Grow our own food, mine, and process our own fuel. But some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain the hull integrity requires raw materials we just don't have. That's why our pilgrimages are so important.
Tell me about your people.
Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. Everything we do must in some way contribute to the continuation of the migrant fleet. There are 17 million Quarians in the flotilla, and each of us relies on the others for survival. The bonds among my people are strong. Unfortunately, we have had to surrender many of the freedoms and civil liberties other species take for granted.
What kind of freedoms?
Well, it's illegal for parents to have more than one child. If our population grows too much, it would strain our resources to their breaking point. Of course, we also can't allow our numbers to become too few. If our population is in decline, the rule against single births is temporarily repealed. In extreme cases of population decline, incentives are even offered to encourage multiple births. Though the Conclave hasn't had to take such measures in nearly a century.
That's your government.
The Conclave is our civilian branch of government. Each ship can elect a representative to serve on the Conclave and make decisions that affect the fleet as a whole. On matters that affect an individual ship, however, the captain has the final say. It's a tradition that dates back to the early days, when the fleet was governed by martial law. Fortunately, most captains nowadays are smart enough to have an elected council from their crew to give them advice and guidance.
So the ultimate power rests with elected officials?
In practice, the Conclave and the respective council for each ship tend to set the rules that govern our daily lives. But in theory, we are still under military jurisdiction. The 5 top-ranking military officials in the fleet serve on the Admiralty Board. These 5 have the power to overrule any decision by the Conclave in case of emergency. To do so requires unanimous agreement among the Admiralty, and they can only do this once. After that, the entire board must resign their posts. It's a safeguard that served us well. In nearly 3 centuries, the Admiralty Board has only overruled the Conclave 4 times.
That's not bad, actually. I forgot which one. I think I just did Quarian, so Geth.
I want to know more about the Geth.
I doubt I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins. What they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Interesting.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI. Over time, we made small modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
This is one of those evergreen topics, isn't it?
How come the council didn't step in and stop you?
This wasn't true AI research. We may have been skirting the bounds of the law, but we never did anything that was actually illegal. The changes were so insignificant, so gradual, that we were able to control them. Or so we thought. But one thing we underestimated was the power of the neural network. A million Geth thinking simultaneously created an inherently unstable matrix.
So the Geth share brain power?
Many of the Geth's logic systems were designed to work in concert with other nearby Geth. Basically, the more of them you have in a group, the smarter they are.
So there's some sort of group consciousness?
No, nothing like that. They cannot share sensory data or information. Their programming cannot handle that much simultaneous input. Each Geth maintains an individual awareness and identity. The neural network only operates on a process-based level. It's basically the synthetic equivalent of a subconscious. But when they're in close proximity, they can coordinate low-level functional processes, freeing up more capacity for original or independent thought.
That's some bad choices there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go down. Go this
What
way.
made them rebel?
As we built more and more Geth, their effective intelligence became more sophisticated, more abstract. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? Why am I here? What is my purpose? As you can imagine, this caused a near panic among my people.
What did you do?
It was inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth. The Geth responded to this order violently.
They should just watch Star Trek.
Oh my!
I mean, they should have watched Star Trek beforehand.
That obviously would have solved everything.
Yeah. Don't make a subservient race.
Measure of a man. That's all you need.
Hey, you can't blame them for fighting for their survival.
We had no other choice. The Geth were already on the verge of revolution. By acting quickly, we had a chance to end the war before it began. The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. But they had progressed much further than anyone anticipated. The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own homeworld. We feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the Veil. Now we drift through space, exile searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
It's hard to feel sorry for you. Your ancestors tried to wipe out another species.
We made a mistake when we created the Geth in the first place. But we did not make a mistake when we went to war against them. If we had not acted, they would have wiped us out. They're a synthetic life form. They have no use for organics. None. Why do you think they cut themselves off from the rest of the galaxy? Why do you think they've killed every organic being who's ever tried to contact them?
You know, I don't know actually what this is referring to.
I think it'll tell you when you select that one,
They didn't kill Saren.
What does that tell you? The Geth are not innocent victims in all this. They're the enemy. They want to destroy us. Not just the Quarians. All organic life. That's why they've joined up with Saren. And that's why we have to stop him.
We already know about the pilgrimage, so... Well, actually, no, we don't know her
More
story.
about the pilgrimage.
When my people reach maturity, we leave our birth ships and seek acceptance with a new crew. It's necessary to maintain genetic diversity among the fleet. But no ship wants to accept someone who will be a burden on them. So, to prove our worth, we embark on a pilgrimage. We set out alone, leaving the flotilla and our families behind us. We only return once we have found something of value we can bring back to the fleet. This is presented as a gift to the captain of the respective ship we wish to join. If the gift is accepted, we are welcomed into the crew.
Can a captain choose to reject the gift?
That doesn't happen often. Most captains are eager to increase the size of their crew. It increases their own standing in our society. Even when a gift is not particularly valuable, the captain usually accepts it out of a sense of tradition. However, there is a stigma to presenting a substandard gift. It's not the best way to make a good impression on a new community. Most pilgrims don't return until they find something worthwhile.
I can't believe they just send you off alone.
It's not like they just cast us out. Before we leave, we are given lessons in how to survive outside the flotilla, and given gifts to help us on our journey. We also receive implants to fight off sickness and disease. Generations of living in an isolated and highly controlled environment have left our immune systems weaker than most. By the time we leave the fleet, we are well equipped for the pilgrimage. This is a rite of passage for all Quarians. If it were dangerous, our numbers would suffer. Virtually every pilgrimage ends with a triumphant return and the ritual presentation of the gift to one of the fleet's captains.
I want to talk about something else.
Like what?
That's it.
I should go.
See you later.
Alright, there's a lot of chat to catch up with.
Yep.
So... Oh my gosh, it would help if I could scroll through it. How did I not... Why won't it let me scroll farther? Oh. It's saying tap chat, live chat.
That's not going to help you.
Well, it's not letting me scroll. What part? Where did you... How did you do that?
2 fingers.
Ugh. Okay. I thought I was doing that earlier, but whatever. Okay, so... Getting back to... Was it my... generally goes, my favorite spaceship are the Hath and Doctor Who. And then Everett clarified it was the physical design of them, so they're talking about Dexter Jetster, which Jay confirmed was like Lucasfilm, similar heads, but Krogan have only 2 arms and such. I think there's only so many human-like but different alien designs inspired by other species before you start copying. Ever goes regarding copying, that's why we need more space fish. And then Drout goes, I don't know if it's evergreen. I think the development of AI will play out very differently than in fiction, and our perception of it will change over that process. I do think there's going to be some things we're going to have to contend with when it comes to AI, though, if we get to the level that the Geth are at in this game. And I don't think if we're expecting a majority of humanity to have enough hubris to not let the Geth happen, we're definitely not at that point yet. It'd have to be a huge cultural shift.
Right. So,
I think it is kind of always prescient, in my opinion, but we'll see. But this is kind of where we've got pretty much all of the last alien companion lore we'll get is Liara, I guess.
That's everybody. Yeah, we have everybody for this game. This game is small compared to the future ones.
No, but I mean, we just haven't had her conversation yet.
Right.
But it's at the time where we usually end it, unless you want to do that before the next. Okay.
No, and we also have Ashley. We'll save her for next time and then hit Caden and Liara.
Okay. So we've got a list of people to talk to. So Jay goes, Asimov had issues with the Frankenstein complex people seem to get about non-human created intelligence. I think we'll keep the fears, but things will turn out different. I don't know, Jay. I don't know. I know. I just don't. I don't know. I'd have to. You know what? I'd have to go back and think about some of his work I read because I love Isaac Asimov. He's the best, but not that. Well, he's amazing. So. All right, that's enough of that. I could go on forever. It was a lot of me being chatty. Mystic just sitting here being like, "Oh, I guess I'm gonna listen to her again." He's laughing, guys. It's fine. So.
Well, thank you guys for watching.
Thanks so much for watching and joining us.
Our next episode will be up for patrons tomorrow.
Yeah, sorry about the glitches there. And then, so next week will be the live stream of that. Should we say what it is?
Nah, not yet.
Okay. All right, patrons. You'll have to find out first. And then, so 2 weeks from now is when we pick up from here for Mass Effect.
I'll do another Patreon poll, figure out where we're going next.
Yes, because we've got 3 more places we need to hit, right?
4 if we want to count Asteroid K57. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's make it 4 then. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.